So I know podcasts are usually filmed like I just say what I'm thinking, right? But that's not how I work. Like I have to read what I wrote because if not, I'm gonna forget certain points. So let's listen, okay? So here we go. Hi guys. Technically today is day 2 of Lent and it's only 11:41 p.m. So it's about to be the third day. But technically for me it's day 1 because yesterday I was a little scared. Everyone kept asking me, "What are you giving up?" And I had no idea. I felt unprepared, like I wasn't ready to face myself yet. Before church, I was talking to my husband and I told him, half joking, but also dead serious, I think I need to give up my terrible personality. Like, forget soda, forget chocolate. I need to give up whatever this attitude is that I've been carrying around. We laughed, but deep down, I knew I meant it. And then I get to church, and God wasted literally no time because right in front of me is the most misbehaved kid imaginable. Kicking the pew, turning around every 2 seconds. She was jumping up and down. She was sliding up the little like thing. She kicked my husband with her feet. Like the whole time, I swear that I could feel God looking at me like, all right, girl, let's see how you handle your patients. Like, girl, it felt like my first like pop quiz. I don't know. And I definitely think I failed a little because I definitely felt myself getting annoyed and I felt that impatient part of me bubbling up. But you know what? I caught myself and I breathed and I softened a little bit because I was like, this girl is getting technically neglected by her mom at this point because her mom did not like call her out at all. So I was like, I just need to be patient with this poor little girl, it's not her fault. And then, you know, it just made me realize like that little test, like it's the whole point of Lent. And I'm gonna tell you like what brought me to this point. Well, earlier that morning, yesterday, I had been on TikTok and I got a TikTok and it said, the evilest person you know is giving up soda instead of giving up being mean. And I was like, okay, drag me. But I don't think I'm evil, but I definitely have been a not so great person. And people have even told me that I sound hateful or harsh. And like, that's not who I want to be at all. And that's when everything kind of started connecting. And it's been like recently, like a few people have told me, like, oh my. And like, I hung out with somebody that like I don't ever really hang out with ever. And she kind of clocked me like in front of everybody and was like, oh my gosh, Carla, you hate everything. And part of me was kind of like, oh, I don't know. I had like never been called out like that. So it was like really humbling. And so, yeah. Anyways, everything started connecting because of that. Like, I started thinking about friendships I've lost like this past few years, like real important friendships. And it also had me thinking that like losing friends as an adult hits a little different. And part of me used to think in the dramatic, like, I'm better off without you energy. But like over time, I did kind of feel more like, ouch, I thought our kids would be friends. And at church yesterday, the priest said like the usual Ash Wednesday things, like reflect, try to think the way that Jesus thought, like love the way that Jesus loved, forgive like Jesus forgave, and you need to forgive everybody. But this time, it actually landed. It hit me in a way that it hadn't really ever hit me before. And I think it's because now, like as a 24-year-old, I can admit that I haven't always been a good friend. And I always hid behind jokes. And I was insecure. And I was selfish without meaning to be. And I wish I could apologize to each one of those friends, even if the hurt went both ways. But I want them to know now, like I see it. And like today, after sitting in those thoughts for like a whole day, you know, I realized something even deeper. You know, it's not just that I was a bad friend, it's that I don't even like the version of myself I've become. Not physically, I mean the version behind my eyes, the one I see when I stare at myself in the mirror too long, the one I literally just can't ignore, you know? And yesterday on our way to church, I told my husband, and my cousin, like, I want to stop being so evil. And my cousin was like, evil? You're so kind. And it made me laugh because I was like, perspective is so wild, you know? People see one thing, but I know the truth of how I've been acting. And somewhere along the way, protecting my peace turned into this weird projecting my issues onto everyone else mentality. And like the smallest inconvenience would happen, and I would be like, ugh, I can't deal with this. I need to protect my peace. But like, girl, that is not peace. That's avoidance, and it's selfishness dressed up in spirituality. And I hate admitting that, but it's true. And I should be able to help my friends without getting annoyed at their choices. And I should be able to support people even when they're doing things that I wouldn't do, you know? Not everyone is like me, and that's a blessing for them. But I don't know, somewhere like along the lines, I confused boundaries with walls and self care with self centeredness, and protecting my peace with I don't want to deal with things that challenge me. And that's how I've been selfish. Not in like a dramatic, being like an actual villain, like, I don't know, name a villain. I don't know. What's a villain that we can think about really fast? Why can't I not think the Green Goblin? I'm like, why can't I not think of one villain? Anyways, like, I'm definitely not the Green Goblin, you know, but I'm definitely like, I was a villain in the way that it was very quiet, like a very subtle way where I just stopped showing up for people because I was too wrapped in my own brain and in my own thoughts and in my own selfishness. And there's like this Melanie Martinez song that I've been listening to, and it like she like talks about how she hates herself and how she judges herself like a priest behind confession walls, and how she feels like she's kneeling on a metal grater. And like, I don't know, but I really feel that in my chest because I don't necessarily hate myself, but I do hate the version of me that let selfishness become a personality trait. The version of me that forgot how to be gentle, how to be patient, how to be a friend. And honestly, it might be because my anxiety never shuts up. And this is why I want to talk through these thoughts that haunt me, because I will literally, it'll be like 2 a.m. and this isn't normal. This is not normal, but it'll be like 2 a.m. and I'll be like, I cannot believe that I'm not friends with Blink anymore. Because like, it really haunts me. Like, it haunts me because, you know, I'm an adult and I'm thinking these things, like, I don't know. And I know it's not normal because there's people that just move on from friendship breakups and it's whatever. I'm crazy. I don't know. I'm not normal. And so for the next 40 days, I want to reflect and I want to soften and I want to grow out of the parts of myself I don't want to carry anymore. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better sister. I want to be a better daughter. I want to be a version of myself that is just the best version of me. Not like an aesthetic version, but like who I know I am at my core, you know? Like someone who tries, someone who apologizes, someone who shows up even when it's uncomfortable. And I'm using this podcast as a way to like keep myself accountable, not in like, look at me healing way, more like a voice memo that I'm brave enough to share. And I'm filming this literally no microphone, just on my phone, because that's just how I am. Like, it's not even quirky. No, like, I'm just saying because before Elon Musk took away voice memos on Twitter, I used to love just posting little Twitter voice memos of myself. See, because I'm so self-obsessed, because I love listening to myself. See? Dang. This is like, guys. I can't. Anyways, let's not think too hard about it. See what I'm telling y'all? Like, now I'm thinking, like, is this me being selfish because I want to listen to myself? Let's not say. But anyways, let's use this podcast as a way to hold myself accountable. And every day I'm gonna check in with myself. Like, what did I learn today? Where did I fall short? Like, where did I surprise myself? What did God try to tell me today that I almost ignored? Because I don't want to get to Easter and feel like I stayed the same. I want to feel lighter, softer, grounded, honest, present. You know, like, I want to feel like me, like the girl that I once was. And if you're listening, thank you for letting me be vulnerable and messy and too much with you. And I hope this inspires you to also look at yourself and be a little more gentle too. And, you know, be more aware of your actions, because the moment that you choose ego instead of love, you know, it's just not good. So, you know, be aware of the habits that you're pretending not to notice, you know. So yeah, this is day 1, and we're learning, we're purging negativity, we're choosing to be better. Not perfect, just better. And honestly, I'm ready. And I wish you all luck on the goals that you have set for yourselves for Lent. It's really hard, and nobody knows like the battles that we're going through but us, you know. Like, it's so easy to assume that other people have it better than you, or that you have it better than other people, but you just never know the reality of things. And we just have to be a little more positive, a little nicer to people, even people that have done us dirty at one point. And we will talk more about that. I think maybe tomorrow we can talk about forgiveness, because there's just so many people, especially 2 people in particular, that I find myself like really hard to forgive. And but it's something that we have to do, you know, not for them but for me, because holding all the hate, like, what is it gonna do, you know? So yeah, tomorrow we can talk about forgiveness and the hate that it actually just keeps in us and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, I'm posting this literally on the 3rd day, but it's okay. Bye.